hope everybody's okay. This is going to be a pretty short video, so I'm going to wait a while, put a bit more music off of. Wait and see if we can get a couple of viewers. It's going to be a short video, this. Just showing off the tiled map. Sometime later. Back in a moment. absolutely brilliant tracks, music from the ZX Spectrum, 128K, epic acid house trance. Suitable for Saturday night coding. Might leave it on in the background for this video. It's just a quick video, like I say. We're going to skim through how I made this tiled background on GIMP, which, yes, I'm not an artist, and I certainly wasn't trying to be. This was done in a hurry. It fits our screen buffer perfectly. Obviously we'll add colour separately in code. I could have added colour in this and let the program set the attribute bits for me, but that would have taken, we would have had to adjust our code to fit that a little bit. Wouldn't have been hard, but anyway, that's enough of that. So that's what we want on our screen as a background. And here's how we did it. Don't know if that music just suddenly got annoying or not. But if this doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever, there was a previous video where I made an even simpler version of this in the screen buffering video. However, this is the intended version. Obviously you could draw something much prettier than that. You could draw something absolutely epic in that amount of pixels if you wanted to as a background. This was just to demonstrate that every tile can be different. It did take me some time to lay out, to turn them into tiles. Here they are as tiles, 1 by 1, 16 by 16 bit tiles. They're in order, going from left to right, like you would write on a piece of paper, like that, then down a line. This here, I've done this in a hurry, as you can see. Eventually I'm going to delete all these comments. Oops. That's how it actually looks. So them bytes are part of the tile at the top, if you understand. So they specify the tile's position. X is in bytes. So let's do the format here. Let's comment. And then bytes 2 to 18, I guess, 17. It's not, it's 2 times 17. 2 to 34, yeah, that makes much more sense. Add 32. Is tile bitmap data. So that's how it's going to be laid out, but at the moment these comments are just getting in the way. They came from the art application. They don't mean anything. They're not in the way, they're not affecting the code. It's pretty obvious what these are now. I've showed you the image several times. The one last time in case you didn't see it. That has been broken up into tiles one by one. Can't see the pointer now, but yeah, you get the picture. If you excuse the pun. So there's 48 tiles. It is 128 in height, our window is, and 96 width. Alright. That's it, it's as simple as that. Now in our main application ASM file, we're going to put draw background is now not relevant. We don't need it. The tiles are over the top of that. That's all you need to draw the tile background. So I've loaded IX with the pointer to here, where the data begins for the sprites. I've also loaded it into IY the pointer, but I've added 2 on, so that points directly at the first line of the bitmap. Down here, if you remember, B is tile count. So we store B and IY, but the only reason we're pushing IY is so that we can pop it to BC after saving what was in there before. So the pointer from IY is now in BC. Because the reason we do that is in cool sprites, draw sprites. Anyway, down here, which I will just show you slowly so you can actually copy this out if this is the only time you've ever seen this code. You get to pause the video. Lots of it's repetition. Let's go back to the start, just make sure I don't miss any. Right. Obviously you've got the line numbers there to help you, and my comments. But the reason we had to free up BC is because we use it to point to our sprite in this method or routine. So after that's been done, we can then pop it back and get BC back to where it was, purely so that we can use DJNZ. I could have just used another register and decremented, but this was the easiest way. And these are just, we're adding the size of a tile data to the pointer, so we just move one whole tile forward. And it's that straightforward. Let's see if it runs. I think it does because I've already run it. And there it is in our window. Now remember, we'd have the UI along the side of that. I can't move my pointer over it, but you know, the UI would surround that. That's what our game window is right now. It's very nice and it works correctly. For once, we've got a 15-minute video here with it all working, and I didn't do any code live this time. But you've got to remember, there would be a UI surrounding the screen, and this was a small buffer on purpose for testing purposes. We're going to make a bigger one eventually, but we can jump up and down. Might as well move our player down to ground level, which is 8. 8 from the top number, starting Y. So 64 screen size, take away this height, 8, take away 8, which is where the ground is. Very tropical, yeah, definitely was. I just quickly drew up anything that first thing came to mind. Oh yeah, why didn't he move down? Oh, it's not 64, that's why. It's 128. Oh, he's still not there. I would have thought he'd be on the ground now. Oh, I made it 4 above, I remember now. Just for the fun of it. Oh, I'm loving this 128k soundtrack that I found. It's so wrong with our jump code where he keeps moving down a little tiny bit. I have to fix that. Hey, he can't get any lower than that, that's interesting. Oh yes he can. So he's going to be out of the memory if I kept doing that. You know, started to cause some glitches already. But this is all about the tile map and it works beautifully. And of course it's very easy to adapt that to any size tile and any size map. Very easily just by changing these and obviously the data itself. You've got to figure out how it's laid out, make sure the position's at the top. I mean, obviously this is just the way I've done it this particular time. You can put it any way you want. You got to make sure your functions and routines call it in the right way. That's it. I'm starting to think that was pretty obvious, but at the end of the day it's got some visual results, hasn't it? Quickly. I mean, after we've fiddled around with this much more, what I'll do is I'll begin again, make a bigger window by using the exchange, and then a better tiled map that looks nice, you know. Perhaps we want to maybe work on some particle effects and like space, like star field, moving star field or something like that. That would be quite interesting. Don't know what else to put into this video really. It's all about the tile map. I want to make sure if people are watching it on YouTube in the future, just about tiled maps. What else do they need to see? Not that. Not that. I mean, I'm using a screen buffer, which is a separate video on my account you have to look up. These constants are all part of that. Really, it's just this. And then really, you only need to look at that first tile. Just think, right, that's the format of a tile. I've hard coded the position so we can just change them to whatever we want. It's really versatile. Okay. Struggling, thinking. The next thing I need to actually fix on this, for want of a better word, game, would be fixing this jump. I mean, this is absolutely awful way of jumping. Thinking of games. What you mean with this tiled map? Or with the star field? Because I think this tile map is actually, you could use it for anything. Almost any old school game used tiles, I think. You know, or a procedural sort of star field or whatever. With a blank screen behind it. The next thing really, the next logical step is to try and make a tile map that is bigger than the screen. And then make it so that you can move around. And obviously there'd be some form of concept of a camera going on. The viewport would really take into effect there. Yeah. That would be a good logical step. That's a big step forward if you can do that. Because it's all well and good just drawing it straight into a buffer which exactly fills our screen buffer, if you know what I mean. It's a bit different. It's not that much different, really. You just want to find an offset. It's all about an offset, really. 2 offsets, X and Y. don't even have to have X and Y, you can have one and just make sure it never goes up or down. It'll be harder than I think, I'm sure, and also smooth scrolling so that like when you get to near the edge of the screen it scrolls, and then it allows you to walk all the way close to the other side before it starts scrolling again. Little things like that will probably be a pain in the ass on this. I mean, I found that a pain in the bum on Unity to start with, but then when I figured it out, it's incredibly easy. But I do love learning these old ways, especially in assembly. It's just great to be able to do it, isn't it? I picture myself in the future owning a Spectrum and sitting there and actually typing this all into a Spectrum, into a Commodore and stuff like that. People around me are just going to be like, thinking I'm some crazy old man. But they won't know what the hell I'm doing, it'll be like witchcraft to them. Let's have one more look at that beautiful background. Alright, what next? Yeah, the next thing's got to be the scrolling, isn't it? But God, it took me ages to create that art, like, believe it or not. But it was the slicing it into tiles manually that done it. Could have a little dabble again in Unity tonight. Either that or some gaming, maybe. Trying to think of something I can add to this quickly. I think with the jumping, I'm going to completely overhaul that and just implement gravity. But before I do that, I need collisions. Or at the same time, really. And it's got to be collision prevention. It can't be checking if we're colliding with something, just brute forcing it. You know, like just sort of blunt. Oh, thanks, Moz. Thanks. I got there in the end with the tile mat. It took a long time with that double buffering, didn't it? I mean, this is only one way of doing it. There are other ways. I think this is meant to be the quickest way, though. There's probably some way of coming up with a better way of doing all that calculation. This is definitely the fastest way, I think. Because all the other ways I can think of involve having an iterator. Or at least one. At least one. And it would probably need to be 16 bits as well. Perhaps. I mean, I could just forget about gravity, couldn't I? We could make, for example, horoscope skiing. That wouldn't need any gravity. It doesn't really even need inertia or anything. But we could make a basic version of that and then try and add like acceleration to that. Might be worthwhile. Because that would allow us to explore collision detection without worrying about the gravity and all that. It would just be like, has a car hit you? I've already made a version of horoscope skiing. I'm much more advanced now than I was then, though. I probably wouldn't bother with any of that code. But that one does have colour and animation and everything. And a main menu. So many ideas of what to do, and I can never set on one. I keep forgetting. Oh, the jump thing is horrible, yeah, that's gotta be sorted out. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna delete the jump stuff, but possibly off air, and then focus on a game that doesn't have any physics. Because we haven't actually done collisions yet, properly, or hardly at all. So yeah, that'll be the next thing. I don't think that's a good idea to do tonight. I'm trying to think, is it gaming or Unity? Ooh. I think I'll come back with a bit of gaming actually, a little bit of gaming before I try and get a slightly earlier night. So yeah, I'll wind this one up for the folks on YouTube because I'm definitely going to upload this. Because it does show off the tile map in completion. But I'll say quick, we need to see really just this. It's called like that in the main update method. There's your simple tile routine, draw tiles, but that does include this draw sprite 16, which is specific to drawing a 16 by 16 sprite. And this is available on the GitHub, and I will make sure there's a link to the GitHub in this particular video. And the title of this in GitHub is in the folder Fast Sprites, so you'll be able to find it, so don't worry. Right, signing out on this video, coming back with some gaming. It might end up being Super Mario because I keep feeling like I can win that one, but I will never do, so who knows. I'm going to wind up in 2 minutes. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.